Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Sports Frenzy podcast. It's another NFL podcast. I'm your host, Kims, and with me we have Devin, we have Dwayne. Shortly we'll be joined by Vincent and Damian. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Yeah, good.
Good. Very good.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to start off by going back to the Thursday night game. Thursday night game with Cleveland versus the Broncos, Denver Broncos, right? And obviously, we know Baker Mayfield was out and Case Keenum stepped in, right? And before I even go into the stats and everything, I don't know if you guys watched the game, but what you guys think about Case Keenum?
Well, he's a veteran, so to speak. He did well, and he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't go for any expansive play like Baker tried to go for the Hail Marys or any 30 meters. He just tried to stick to the basic and being efficient. He didn't turn over the ball, so and he looked good. He looked good with that defense and protection. He could do well. I don't know how long Baker is out, but he had an efficient game to me. He didn't try to do anything too extravagant. And sometimes it said like when you go by unnoticed, that's when you're having an efficient game. When everybody start talk about this, that about you, that means you weren't that you weren't doing something good.
Okay. All right. So Dwayne, I compare the Chargers game, the last 2 minutes of the Chargers game with Baker, and the last 5 minutes of the Broncos game with Case Keenum, right? The last 2 minutes of the Chargers game, Baker was only told to run the ball. Those were the play call that was made for him, and then he had to make a Hail Mary. But for the last 5 minutes of the game, when I thought that Denver would get a chance to get back the ball, but I've seen where the Browns coach he actually put trust in Case Keenum to actually throw the ball,
Hmm.
and make some big throws, some 18-yard pass, some 20-yard pass, against a Denver defense who is obviously much better than the Chargers defense. So with that being said, and with Baker injury about his non-throwing shoulder and stuff, would you go ahead and bench Baker for the rest? Just shut down Baker for the rest of the season and just ride it out with Case Keenum?
No. If Case Keenum, he played I would say, okay game, but because to me, he was really helped by the run game. That's what Stefanski did. They went to the run game, right? And this Cleveland O-line is very, very good, especially when it comes to the run blocking. They're very good at that. So he was helped by the run game, right? So it wasn't an expansive game plan. He was making some, he wasn't making no difficult throw. He was making those slant routes and those some serviceable throws. So it's not like the whole playbook was open to him, right? But the coach has a lot of trust in him because they work together in Minnesota. Case
Uh-huh.
is a good quarterback. He's not gonna be the one that is gonna take the team over the not gonna want to leave. To me, he is more safer than a Baker Mayfield who tends to be a lot looser in his passing. But if the Browns are gonna really do any damage in the playoffs, they need Baker. I don't think Case is gonna be that guy to do it.
Okay. All right. And here's Pepe Paul saying that he's present with his book, his pencil, and his money. So definitely, Pepe. A little later in the show, we'll definitely have it going on for you. And then Shamika Jackson says, "I am with Paul. Don't know anything about this game, but Kems need to give me some winning picks." Wow, most definitely, Shamika. We have the winning picks this week. Um, Dwayne, I heard you said something about that. All right, they were running the ball. Remember, they were missing their two best running backs. There was no Kareem Hunt. There was no Nick Chubb. But they had a
Right.
guy named the Ernest Johnson. I
Yeah,
never
the
heard of
guy.
that. I never
Yep.
heard of that guy ever.
They
and he
took that
ran
guy
for what?
off a boat and bring him in the league. He was on a boat.
He ran for 146 yards,
Yes,
22
which is
carries,
surprising.
146 yards, and a touchdown, right?
Yes,
Against a
yes,
Denver defense who is said to be, one of the elites, said to be a, top 10 defense. So I believe it's just that is the Cleveland DNA for it.
yeah.
It's just a running game for Cleveland. I think anybody who and as I always tell you guys that Cleveland has the best offensive line in the NFL. So once you have a great offensive line,
And they
you'll
and
be
they
able to.
and they scheme well
Of
in
course,
their run game.
of course,
They
of
scheme
course.
well, very well. They remind me they are similar to Baltimore. The only difference is that Baltimore really has a quarterback. Cleveland has a
Yeah.
game manager.
All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start looking into the games for Sunday, all right? And I want to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 3-3, and the Tennessee Titans, who are 4-2, who got a big, big, big win over the Buffalo Bills on Monday night, right? And obviously, we have to talk about the sensational Derrick Henry, who so far has run for 783 yards, which is more than 26 NFL teams. Not 26 NFL running backs, 26 NFL teams, right? So now, I believe that Derrick Henry is definitely the best running back in the league right now. So with that being said, Devin, I'll start with you. The spread is 4.5 for Kansas City, right? How do you see this game going?
Chiefs will cover. Chiefs will cover this game. Like the two teams in their division, they are 4-2 above them. They are 3-3. They need this win. I think um I think they have a tight end that is back. Not tight end. They call him a defensive tackle, Chris Jones. I was watching it. He'll be back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that will help shore up things for them. And Derrick Henry, that one, the Titans depend heavily on Derrick Henry, but I'm looking for, you know, Chiefs to get it with all their weapons and to cover this one and cover this one easily because they can't afford any more slip ups. And for a Super Bowl finalists, they're going to show that they have to make it back to the playoffs and to make it back to the Super Bowl. So you can't. They're not going to afford any more slip ups. And from here on, I see them rolling. So Pepe Paul say he has the book and the pencil. Yeah. Chiefs covering this one.
Chief covering that one. All right. So, all right. The way how I define greatness is that your opponents can know what you're doing, but they're unable to stop it.
Mm.
So, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, like you know what they're going to do, but you still can't stop it, right? So, with Derrick Henry, you know that he's going to run the ball. You know he's going to get 20, 25 carries, but you just can't stop it, right? So, with that being said, Dwayne, I believe that Patrick Mahomes will be on the sidelines for majority of this game. I believe Patrick Mahomes will be watching this game from the sidelines. Is there any way you see the Titans winning this game at home?
The Titans, it's gonna be very close. The Titans can win because they got the Chiefs. They don't have any. They don't have the nobody where I say they can stop Derrick Henry. The thing with Derrick Henry, he'll be in the game. If you hold him in, you might pop the box. 8 in the box, 9 in the box, and you contain him, right? And he just make one run, and he make a 70-yard dash and blow away your team. And
Yep.
once he made that big run, that defense is at his mercy now. And it gets
Yep.
better as longer the game goes on. It's not one of those back, he's fresh in the first half, he will give you all those big runs. He get better as the game gets longer. When most of the other guys are tiring, that's when he gets off. So this is a very dangerous game for the Chiefs. I'm picking the
Definitely.
Chiefs barely because to me they are a little more desperate than the Titans
All
because the
right.
Titans their division is not as competitive as the Chiefs division is. So
True.
I'll have the Chiefs winning maybe by a field goal, but I'm not picking them to cover.
Okay. All right.
Maybe 30-27.
30-27. 30-27. So that's 3 points. All right. So Devin, let me ask you a question, right? So the Titans went up against the Bills, who has a better defense.
Mm.
Uh, uh, I would say about the same pass rush, but they definitely have a better defense. They have better safeties. They have better corners, right? And they weren't able to stop Derrick Henry, right? Julio Jones not even got into the game as much. AJ Brown didn't even get into the game as much, right? So I don't think Chief defense can stop me, you, and Dwayne if we're out there on the field, right? So I don't know how they're going to stop Derrick Henry. And if Derrick Henry run the ball and run the clock, I don't see how Chiefs will get enough possessions to go ahead and take over. Because if you can remember, the first game against Cleveland, Cleveland had the ball for 2.5 quarters. Patrick Mahomes was just watching the game. And then obviously, Baker start throw it, and then that go after it. Right? So are you still insisting of sticking with your Chiefs to cover that 4.5
Oh,
spread?
yes, yes, yes. And two, I'm gonna give you two additional reasons, right?
Yes.
Titans, they beat a big team last week. Yo, they're not gonna beat another big team this week. Plus, in the secondary, they're a bit banged up. And you see, throughout the season with the Titans, they're allowing some big yards play, and this is gonna play into Patrick Mahomes. They're allowing like I think about 6 games or 6 times they've allowed like about some 40 yard throw. They're allowing throws of like 40 yards and more, about six different occasions or more. And this is gonna play well into Patrick Mahomes because Patrick loves those big throws. He's gonna look for some of those big plays. So this is gonna play well into the Chiefs, and they're gonna cover, man. Trust me.
All right. And here,
TV. Sell a fridge and a TV for this one, not the house.
all right. And here we have Wally West saying that the Chiefs D can't stop King Henry. Wally, I definitely agree with you. I'm not telling who I'm picking as yet, but I definitely agree. I say, and if they play for the run, Julio and AJ are going to have a field day. Yup, especially with that old man Sorensen around here who can't stop a fly. It's going to be a long day. But we'll move on. So let's move on to the next game where we have the Washington football team going up 2-4 Washington football team going up to Lambeau Field to play against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers who are 5-1, right? And just a little bit of stat for you guys is that Washington has allowed the most points per game this season, which is 31, right?
Oh,
With that being said, the Packers coming off a very emotional win with a division rival, the Chicago Bears, winning by 10 points, and Washington coming off a L. With that being said, Dwayne, who do you see with the spread is 8? They give the Packers 8 points. With that being said, how do you see this game going? Who do you think will win?
the Packers will win. The Packers
Nah,
will
nah, I hear
enjoy
the
the
boss.
battle. I expect the Packers to win comfortably. This is basically the easiest game of the week, in my opinion, because Washington need a quarterback. The
Hmm.
the league has figured out this Heineke guy. They has figured him
Yep.
out. So he's not gonna do anything, to hurt the Packers, right? And to me, the Packers are moving in second gear. They haven't peaked. They haven't played their best football, but I just expect them to roll this Washington team. And Cam is still on the market. I don't know why Cam old coach won't go back for Cam. Because to me, I think Cam can help him.
Well, well, before let me respond to that. But Wally's here saying that he heard that Washington is in talks with Tua. Any truth to that? Well, Wally, I'm not really sure, but I heard that there's a three-team trade between Houston, Miami, and Washington. So probably, but Houston already stated that they didn't want Tua. So probably Washington will be willing to take Tua because obviously Tua is better than Heineke, right? But um, you made a point a while ago doing about Cam and okay, if you are a boss of a company and Devin used to work for you, right? But then now you move to another company and Devin is out of a job, but you don't want to take Devin. It's must a reason why you don't want to take Devin, right? Because you know there's something going on with Devin that probably other persons don't know, because a lot of persons are speculating that he should have went to Washington even before he went to the Patriots last year. So there's probably something there between. I think that Cam Newton cannot throw the ball. You see, like when we talk about Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball,
Right.
Cam Newton can't throw the ball downfield accurately. He can run the football. He's a big body, but I don't think he can do enough in order to propel. I think Taylor Heineke can throw the ball better than Cam Newton right now. So, I don't know. Probably I heard that Seattle.
Well,
I
based
heard that.
based
Huh?
based on what we have seen from Heineken, I can't tell us if that is true or not, brother. That's the problem. He look good early before they had enough tapes on him.
That's true.
and
That's true.
and we know we who understand the game know say once them have tapes on you and them figure you out, if your game not improve, you can't win.
Can't win at
Because
all.
one thing with the NFL, it's all about tapes.
Yep. And all about tips and definitely adjustments as well.
Yeah.
Uh, Devin, I have a question for you, right? So a lot of persons talk about Green Bay and they're saying that they're too one-dimensional, meaning they only look for Devontae Adams, right? If Devontae Adams is out, then the offense is not good. But we have seen where Tanyan has been getting in some plays. We have seen where Aaron Jones have been running the ball and also in the passing game as well. Uh, so do you see Green Bay go ahead and covering these 8 points and winning this game comfortably?
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree with doing. It's one of the best. It's one of the picks you can look for, like a lock of the week to cover. I think I want to talk about with this game, Kems. Like prior to the season, the talk was about Washington, Chase Young, and their defense. And you said it. Like they're giving up like about they're giving up
31 points.
you know they give up like about 180 odd points in all the games so far. They're giving up a lot of points, a lot of
Yep.
points, and
Yep.
that's a recipe for disaster going to Green Bay. And the stats is there since since Matt LaFleur has taken over. I think at home, like since what 2019, they're like 16-2 at home, 16-2 at home,
Yep.
and it's going to be an easy coverage. I see them win by 10, like 31-21.
31, 21.
Yeah.
Do you have a scoreline for the game, Dwayne?
34-20.
34-20. All right, so that's a 14. All right, and while he's saying that he heard that Watson wants to play for the Dolphins, yeah, there's been some noise being making about that trade, but the thing that Dolphins have to be careful about, they made a mistake like this with Drew Brees, when they released Drew Brees and released him too early and all them kind of stuff. So Tua is my guy. I really want them to stick with Tua. He's in my city. But Deshaun Watson, you can't really compare with him. But on the legal side of things, I don't know what's going on. We haven't heard anything about it. But if you know anything about sports, when it's time for him to play, all these things are going to come back up, and so we don't know what's happening with that. So I guess we just have to just stay tuned and just see what's happening with that. All right, the next game I want to go ahead and look at is the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And the spread for that is that the Ravens have a 6.5 spread, right? And Lamar Jackson is 5-0 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, probably prior to Joe Burrow, probably when they was Andy Dalton and they were not good, But Bengals defense is only really allowing 18 points. That is fifth best in the league, right? So with that being said, Devin, do you see Baltimore covering, or do you think that Lamar Jackson, he has just had too many emotional games and he's going to lose this one?
No, like when Ravens and Cincinnati play last season, the old Joe Burrow, even though Joe Burrow has developed, the old him, he didn't do much against them, and I think the defense gonna try to get at him again this week. And Baltimore, they're on a roll right now, and they're at home. It's a touchdown, easy coverage for Baltimore in my mind. Cincinnati has playing is playing good, but I see this one finishing at 31 to 24.
31 to 24. All right. So let me ask you a question now, Dwayne. So, and Rat is saying that Ravens to win 34-24, so that's 10 points. All right, so let me ask you a question now, Dwayne. So for the Ravens, right, the last 4 of their 6 games, they won by 1 possession, and the last 3 of their 5 games, they won on the last drive, right? Sometimes these things can take a toll on the team. So do you see that? Do you think that Cincinnati can go into Baltimore and get this one?
Yeah, they can because right now those guys are loose. They're playing confident. A lot of people are they're sleeping on Cincinnati. I'm not one of those guys. It's gonna be a tight game in my opinion, but I expect Baltimore because to me, I'm gonna use a military term, right? I hope
All
you will
right.
understand.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore is battle hardened. They have been in the trenches. They have been in many fight games where
Yep.
they have to fight, right? So they have been in many close games. Even the first game that they lost in overtime.
Yep.
So they have been in a lot of trench war and they have been prevailing, right? So to me, they are more battle tested than Cincinnati. So I use that to give them the edge over Cincinnati
Okay. Do you have a
because
do
they,
you
yeah, I have a scoreline. I'm not gonna give them 6.5 points. That's too much, especially in a divisional game, in a rivalry game. So I have Baltimore winning 27-24.
27-24? You think it's going to be one of those Justin Tucker late field goal, probably 55, 56 yards?
It may come down to that, yes, or they might take a lead and then Cincinnati come rallying at the end. Because if you watch most of the games this season, you hardly have any blowouts.
Yep.
Many of the games, teams might be up by 10 or 14 points,
And
then
it's
the other team
September.
comebacks in the game. So it all
So,
depends. But
but
I'm
let me
not
ask you a
I'm not
question.
gonna have them. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So, we saw that the Ravens defense really shut down the Chargers offense last week, right? And I believe
Right,
that the Chargers offense is a bit more dynamic than the Cincinnati offense.
right.
So, wouldn't you think, or are you taking into consideration that because it's a divisional game?
It's a right. It's a divisional game, so you have to through a farm, everything through the window. These teams, there's no secret in this game. Everybody know everybody very well, right? And Baltimore is a seasoned team, but trust me, Cincinnati is coming. You remember when I picked Cincinnati to beat the Steelers earlier in the season? Nobody really saw the Cincinnati to beat the Steelers. But based on their quarterback play, Joe Burrow is at the second tier, right? He's not top tier, but he's up there with Ebert and those other young guys. They're in the same class, and he has weapons.
Yep.
That's the thing. He has weapons.
Yes, yes, and he has his college teammate Jamar Chase as well,
Chase,
who they
yeah,
seem to have, they seem to still have that chemistry from LSU. So,
yeah,
do
and
you? So you said that you definitely think that Cincinnati will cover that 6.5 spread.
yeah. That's too much points in a divisional game.
All right, all right. So the next game I want to look at is, Devin's team. Well, I guess it's City.
Even as
It's
a
City.
team,
It's City. The Panthers. The Panthers
I,
will be going up there. The Panthers will be going up there to face the New York Giants, right? The 3-3 Panthers going against the 1-5 New York Giants, and the Giants are winless at home. So they're 0-3 at home, winless. They're going up against a Carolina team that forces you 3 and out. 38% of the time, which is number one in the league, and they have the second best third down conversion in the league as well. And right now we see that the Giants are just full of injuries. Saquon Barkley out, Galladay out, all these guys out, right? So with that being said, Devian, who do you see winning this game?
Oh, I Panthers, even though I'm not big on, on I've seen too much of Sam Darnold, but yeah, I think their defense and with all the injuries to the Giants, it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a low scoring game. So I know it's not time for the tips yet, but this game is a low scoring game. I see this game finish at 17-13, and the only reason is that these teams sometimes they struggle to score, and Panthers they have the better defense, and New York just reeling with injuries. So I see this game like a 17-14 game. 17.
17-14. All
Yeah.
right, so the spread is actually Panthers 2.5. So definitely you see Panthers covering the spread.
Yeah.
I mean you see Panthers covering the spread since you pick at 3 points, right?
Yeah, 17-14.
All right. So let me ask you a question now, Dwayne. So, at the start of the season, Daniel Jones wasn't really turning over the ball as much. But then the last game, against the Rams, he had 3 turnovers in that game.
Yeah.
And here right saying no New York team is good, Devin's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so is there a way, Dwayne, where you can think about that the Giants win this game? Any way possible, the Giants can win this game if.
Well, actually, I'm picking the Giants to win.
What?
Yeah.
I hope this is on your 5 picks as well.
Kids say no to drugs.
I don't think he will do that.
And it's just an hunch. It's just an hunch. And I'm gonna tell you why, right?
Uh-huh.
2 struggling quarterbacks,
Mm.
right? And to me, the Giants still has a better offense than the Panthers. 50% of the
Really?
Panthers' offense is injured, which is McCaffrey. Whenever McCaffrey doesn't play, the Panthers are not gonna score a lot of points. Check it out.
Uh-huh.
So he's not playing this weekend?
No, he's on IR.
No, he's on IR, so he has to miss 3 games.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
man, for missed 3 games. So that is the only reason. If McCaffrey was fit, I would go with the Panthers, but I'm gonna pick the Giants, the midgets, to pull a little upset off this week. I think they're due. They have lost some close games also. Last week was an outlier, but most of the games the Giants have been in the game, just like Jacksonville. So to me, they're due a victory. And
Yeah.
the Panthers, as look at the record, look who they have beaten, and look at what they have done recently. They haven't done anything special. So they're not a special team. So I think the Giants can cause the upset. So I'm picking the Giants 2017
So even
to
so
upset
even
the Panthers. Yes,
so
sir.
even with all the injuries that the Giants have right now, and with a quarterback who I would say is unstable at best, you're still going with the
I'm
Giants.
going with the Giants because I
Okay.
think they still has a better offense. And well, it's 2 bad teams, so one of them have to win. So
One of them have to win.
I just feel like said the Panthers are gonna be more worse than the Giants this week. It's gonna
All
be an
right.
ugly game, but I just have the feelings that the Giants are gonna win.
All right. And we're joined now by Damien. Good night, boss. How you doing?
Oh, not bad enough. Sorry I'm late.
No, no, yeah, man, we understand what going on, but you were one of them that you and I have had several conversations, several arguments, several discussions
About Jones.
about this quarterback, this Giants quarterback, who you say Eli Manning must get out of town, give this man the keys to the city because this man is the quarterback, right? So now this man is going up against Sam Darnold, who was at the New York Jets, now have a rebirth at the Panthers. He's not playing too bad, but obviously he can play better. So as Dwayne said that, these two teams are not good. So it's, going up against each other. Do you have Daniel Jones winning this game?
No. Saquon is out, right? Saquon is out.
Yeah, Saquon is out.
Yeah, no, I don't see. I think Jones will struggle. I mean, Panthers. Yes, I wouldn't say too. I mean, the record speak for itself, but they started out, somewhat okay. I
Uh-huh.
think they'll. I think the Giants is a good matchup for them to, to find back some of what they had, first couple of games in. So yeah, I see them winning nearly by a touchdown. I think the line is 3 points, but I think they can beat the Giants by a touchdown. Yeah, the Giants just not good this year. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll give the edge to Carolina.
I give the edge. Do you have a score line?
Uh, yes, I have a score line. I would say 27-20 thereabout.
27,
I think
27,
Devin
20. So
mentioned low scoring, but I think we'll see some points.
this is some
Hmm.
points. All right.
Yeah.
So the next game I want to go ahead and look at now is the Raiders 4-2 versus the Eagles 2-4, right? And the spread for this game, obviously the Raiders have the spread -3, and we spoke about everything that was going on with John Gruden, and we said that there was a distraction before. Now John Gruden out of town, and we see the Raiders played against the Broncos last week and totally tore them apart. We saw Derek Carr looking like he was on MVP form, throwing that ball all over the place. But Philly has won 3 of the last 4 games, versus Las Vegas, right? And Philly has one of the best offensive lines out there. So with that being said, Damian, who do you have winning this game?
Well, last week I remember, you know, um, Devin and Dwayne mentioned the noise, surrounding Gruden, and I don't know if you recall, I said the Raiders is good enough without Gruden to beat the Broncos.
Yep.
So I don't see why they wouldn't beat a Philadelphia team this week, who is pretty decent, but Raiders is at home. They have a lot playing for. The players amongst themselves. I think they came together well last week. And did a good job. I don't see Philly topping them this week. So I have Raiders by about 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah, Raiders by 3 points. All right. So you think that Raiders will definitely cover the spread then, basically.
Mm, yeah, definitely.
All right. All right. So Devin, one thing I've always harped on is that a lot of persons think that the quarterback is the best thing since sliced bread, and I've always thought that the offensive line is the most important position in football, right? I've always thought that, right? And for the Philadelphia Eagles, they have 5.2 yards per carry, which is top 3, right? And Jalen Hurts is being afforded 3.1 seconds to throw the ball. And if you know anything about quarterback, that's a lot of time for you to survey the field. And Philadelphia also gave by their best offensive lineman, Lane Johnson, right? So with that being said, do you see the Eagles winning this game?
Last week I said I went against the noise. And this week I'm still going against it with the noise. I mean, even though Gruden is gone and everything, put on top of it though, this is my upset for the week. I see Eagles winning this one 27-24. And Eagles are well rested. They're coming off the bye. Jalen Hurts looks good, and the offensive line looks good. I've seen quite a few Eagles games because we get these divisional games up here. So I see a lot of Eagles, Giants, Dallas, and Washington games. So they look good so far, and I have them for the upset this week. Especially them coming off the bye, and Hurts is playing good. Jalen Hurts looks good. Derek Carr is playing good as well. But I'm carrying. This is my upset for the week.
That's the upset for the week. And do you have a score line?
27-24.
27-24 Eagles. All right, Dwayne, go ahead. Do you, because we have Damon here saying that he's going with the Raiders, because they must can be the Eagles since they beat the Broncos. You have Devin saying, hey, there's still too much noise going on there. Jalen Hurts playing well, I have to ride with the Eagles. So what say you?
Well, last week I went with conventional wisdom, right? And I was proven wrong. Raiders really put the went to Denver, which is not one of the easiest place to go to. So it's at altitude, and they put a slacking on these, I would say, overrated Broncos. So
Yep.
Yep.
to me, I'm gonna go with the Raiders because they're at home. It's not easy to go from the East Coast, especially from the Northeast to the especially to the Southwest where Raiders are. That's a long journey, and a lot of people don't understand that traveling affect many of the teams in the
Most
NFL.
definitely.
Yeah.
So because of the distance. That's the main. If this game was gonna be played in Philly, I would have gone with the Eagles. But I'm gonna go with the Raiders to win 26-23.
26, 20, 26, 23. All right. And for me, I'm going with the Eagles to win this game. I'm going with the Eagles to win this game basically because I believe that when the Eagles look in the division and they see that Dallas Cowboys is running away with the division, I believe that this is a game that they circle on the calendar and say, you know what, we have to get this game. We have to get this game because the Raiders defense can't stop a fly, especially they can't stop a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. So that is why I decided that I was going to go with the Eagles to win this game. All right. So the next game we want to go ahead and take a look at is the Colts, who are 2-4, versus the 49ers, who are 2-3. And there are certain coaches off a bye who I don't bet against. Sean Payton, Sean McVay, Andy Reid, and Kyle Shanahan, right? Those are coaches I don't bet against after a bye because they get time with the team, get the team healthy, get the scheme right, and go out there and execute. So the 49ers are coming off a bye, and the Colts will be without T.Y. Hilton and will be without their safety. So I'm going to start with you, Damian. The spread is -4 for the 49ers. Do you see the 49ers winning this game?
Repeat that.
Do you see the 49ers winning this game?
Um, 49 at home. So I think I would give them the edge. Give them the edge over the Colts. Specifically defense. The 49ers rank. I think they rank in the top five overall. And defense. The offense is a bit anemic, but I give them the edge based on the top five defense that they have against the Colts. So I have the 49ers winning by about 5.
About 5 points. All right. Vincent, welcome, boss. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. Just
All right.
getting a little late, but I'm good.
Not a problem, man. As long as you
Mm.
make it, we're happy to have you. And we're going to throw you in the
Mm.
fire right away. We're going to throw you in the fire
Uh-huh.
right away. So, as I was saying to the gentleman earlier, there are certain
Mm-hmm.
coaches I don't bet against after a bye.
Okay.
Sean McVay, Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, right? I believe
True,
that
true, true.
I believe that these coaches, they're so talented, they're so great that, you give them an extra week to prepare, it's going to be problems, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now when we talk about Jimmy G, because Jimmy G, he was hurt, now he's coming back. Since 2017, Jimmy G has been 24-10 as a starter under Kyle Shanahan, right? With a passing rating of 98%, right? Going up against a Colts defense, who's missing their safety and missing their best wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton, right? So with that being said, do you see the 49ers winning this game?
Well, 49ers is a side that is dear to my heart. But notwithstanding that, as you say, Jimmy G coming back, and we hope, because the biggest problem 49ers have really is a proper quarterback. You understand? The defense is up there, as we name the says, a top five defense. You understand?
Yep.
They are going to hold the Colts. The truth is, even the games that the Colts have played and lost, they have always been in it, there and around. I am going to back my 49ers this week to really come out victorious, especially with Jimmy G coming back. I do believe that he should be able to make a play or two to assist that defense to get them by the Colts this week. Somewhere around 24, 21, 49ers should be able to pull it off. I see them hold the Cardinals offense, which is one of the best offense that is played now, and the defense hold them. So with Jimmy G there, they should be able to do enough to get by the Colts.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, Dwayne. So, you know, we're only talking about the 49ers. So let us go ahead and now move on to the Colts now. We have
Yeah,
we have a quarterback, Carson Wentz, left the Philadelphia Eagles, came over
yeah,
to the Colts under and under his coach that he had his best season with Frank, but
yeah.
we still see that he's holding on to the ball too long. We
Yeah.
still see that he's going ahead and getting sacked too often. And if you hold on to the ball long against his 49ers defense, it's going to be a very, very, very long night. So,
Yeah,
do you see any way where the Colts can win this game?
yeah, they can win. Yeah, they can win the game because right now Carson, when he's playing his best footballs in his last three starts for the Colts. If you check out him numbers them not bad. Even the game that they lost to the Ravens, for majority of that game, he was
True,
outplaying in Lamar.
Yep.
And,
true,
you understand?
true.
So they are playing very well at that position. But my the greatest problem I see the Colts gonna have is that the 40 when it comes to buy. And as you said, with Kyle Shanahan, there are certain coaches that you don't bet against when it comes to a buy because those guys they
Mm-hmm.
always get their teams. And the 49 was banged up, and they're getting back some of their good players because
Yep.
they got the buy, so players got to rest up and they got to take care of some of those injuries. And the Colts has been playing, and traveling. That's another thing. That game will be in San Fran, right?
Yes.
So I give the 49ers the edge. I have them winning like 24-20.
24-20.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna
Okay.
have them to cover the 4.5. I'm just gonna go below the 4.5. I have them like winning by 4.
All right. All right. So now let me move on to Devian, right? So the Colts defense, they're giving up 6 yards a play, right?
Mhm.
And the 49ers team is the only team with a losing record who has outgained their opponent in every game, right? Because even if you can remember the Green Bay game, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers' greatness,
Yes.
49ers would have won that game easily, right? So, who do you have winning this game? And let me just throw in another question. Who do you see being the X factor in this game?
Well, I see the 49ers winning, and just to like everybody's saying, they're coming off the bar, they're well rested, and my X factor is I'm going with Jimmy G. I'm a Jimmy G fan, especially since he went on that date with that porn star. I'm a Jimmy G fan. So
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question after here.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, I'm a big Jimmy G fan. And the thing is with Jimmy G, with Colts. I start thinking is with Colts, right?
Yes.
They're the second worst team in the red zone. So in the red zone, I think for 29 times they went down there, they only convert on 9 occasions. So
Hmm.
that's a stat that's going against them.
Yes.
So I'm going with the 49ers you know, based on that stat and the fact that they are well rested. And my guy, Jimmy G.
Do you have a scoreline?
Yeah, 27-24. I'm not too sure about the coverage, so I'm going to go with 27-24. I think it could be close.
27-24. All right. All right. So I'm going to touch on this game briefly just because, you know, it's quarterbacks from, they used to play for these teams, right? So I'm talking about the Lions and the Rams, right? So the spread for this game is
Oh my.
16.5, right?
Yeah,
That's the
man,
spread
move
for
on.
You cannot spread, man.
The spread for the game is 16.5, right? So Jared Goff is going back to LA, you know, to face the team, to face the defense who basically know all his weakness, you know, and you know the very little bit of strength that he has, right? So I guess the question I'm asking, and I'll start with you, Damien. The question I'm asking is there a way, because I don't think that they could win, but is there a way that Jared Goff can make enough plays to keep it respectable?
Were you asking the question?
No, Damien may ask, but Damien, like you're mute.
Uh, that-
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that,
like
that
you're
is a
mute. Like
that's
you're
a
mute.
short. That should be a short answer. No.
Like you're mute, Damien. So start out the connection and return to us, all right? So let me start. So let me go with you, Vincent, right? So with that being said, right, like the coach came out and he said, hey, you know, our quarterback has to play with some more passion. You know, we have to play with some more passion. He has to make plays because the coach is really not impressed with how he has been playing, right? So do you think that there is some way Detroit can probably lose by only 12 instead of 17 or 13 instead of 20?
Them are gonna lose. I mean, there's nothing to say about this. They're going to be what 0-7. They are what 0-6 now. I
Yes.
believe they're going to be 0-7. I guess you are trying to say that it's going to be respectable or not. I don't think so. It's a reason why Rams trade Goff and went
Yep.
for a quarterback. You understand?
Yep.
He knew that he needed a proper quarterback in his system, and you see what they are doing now. Detroit don't stand a chance. Full stop.
Yep. All right.
Don't stand a chance.
All right, Damien, are you here now? No man, we're still check if it mute. Check if it mute, because we're still not here, G. I don't know why. We're not here. But Devin, um, the way how LA wanted to get Goff out of town, you know that the Rams are paying Jared Goff. The Rams are paying Jared Goff 24 million
yeah.
to play for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
That's how bad they wanted to get him out of
Yeah, I
town.
found out one of them
You know,
the other day. Yeah.
So imagine somebody say, "Hey, I don't want to have a job. Hey, I'll pay you 24 million just to go over this side." Like that is basically what they did. So, with that being said, do you think that Jared Goff could come to LA and spoil the party? Because I know you just talk about Jimmy G just now with the porn star and stuff. It was being said that the reason why Sean McVay wanted Jared Goff out of town was because Jared Goff had eyes on Sean McVay's woman, right?
Yeah,
So do you think that Jared Goff can come in and just spoil the party and get his first win for Detroit?
nah, this thing for this game, it's not about if Rams gonna win. It's just about if they're gonna cover the spread or not.
Yeah.
The spread is 16, and I see them covering. I see this game like a 34-17. I think they're gonna cover the spread because Rams are rolling and Detroit is not much they're gonna offer. And like you said, we talk about this before the season. Who is happier?
Yeah.
I mean, is it not Stafford to be out of Detroit or Sean McVay to get rid of Goff?
Yeah.
And I agree that it's Goff, not Goff. Sean McVay seeing the back of Goff, that made him the happier person. Even though Stafford is in a nice system now, but they're gonna cover. I see them cover those big spread 34
Okay.
and 16.
All right. So we're now joined by Gary Dixon. How you doing, boss?
Yeah, my boss, I'm doing
Yeah.
good,
All right. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
normally when you come on the show, we throw you in the fire right away. We're not giving you no time for go look up no notes or none of something. We
All
throw you in
right,
the
boss.
fire right away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford had been in Detroit for, I want to say, 14 years. I want to say
Mm-hmm.
14 years, yeah. He had been in
Mm-hmm.
Detroit for 14 years, and a lot has been said that he has superstar talent, but not superstar play, mainly because of the team. And as soon as he is in LA now, you hear that he's amongst the favorite odds for MVP. None of those stuff that he got in Detroit, none of those accolades in Detroit. So with that being said, do you see Matthew Stafford balling out against Detroit, or do you see Jared Goff getting one up against the Rams?
Um, this game is in LA, right?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't really matter. The the the, the Lions are not a very good football team right now, to be honest. I think they are 0-5. Um,
On on
lost
six.
0-6. Yeah,
Yeah.
0-6. They're 0-6 now. They lost a couple of close games.
Yes.
Jared Goff is not the type of quarterback you throw in the fire to really pull you out of danger, or he's not the quarterback that carries it over the hump. He
True.
was in a system with Sean McVay, which they designed plays for him. When they
True.
had Todd Gurley, it was mostly a play action kind of system, because he's a quarterback that makes a lot of mistakes. He throws picks occasionally. He's a type of quarterback you build a system around, basically. And you see that playing out in Detroit, where they don't have a lot of talent, but you wouldn't be the quarterback to really get victories, many victories. Um,
True.
Matthew Stafford in Detroit, if you remember, even though he was losing a lot, he put up a lot of numbers. So he's one
Yeah.
of the very few quarterbacks that you can say had a 5,000-yard season. There are not many of them that were around, about
True.
5 or 6 of them. He threw a lot of touchdowns when he had Megatron. Megatron put up a lot of great numbers. So talent-wise, he can, put up numbers, but they were saying that it was the team that he had around him.
For
Some
sure.
of the victories, he had a lot of back in Detroit. I think he had about 30 something fourth quarter comebacks. He has a lot of comebacks, even though the team's record wasn't really good. So being in this LA system now with Sean McVay designing the plays for him and a lot of um, weapons around him, Robert Woods and Cooper Cup, um, and they have a fairly decent run game. I think that they will do well this season. They're looking for a Super Bowl. It's basically Super Bowl or bust, because actually they didn't believe that
Yeah.
Jared Goff was that quarterback to carry them over the hump. Because remember, they went through a few NFC um, championship games. They went to the Super Bowl, and they actually lost. And they
Then
could
they put up.
ascribe that to some of Jared Goff's play,
Yeah.
basically. So I think with Matthew Stafford being in that system as the quarterback is a major upgrade to me. So this weekend, I believe that I don't know if the nerves will have um, a play in Matthew Stafford's mind, because going up against his whole team. But I think they will do very well to pull out the victory. I believe that the Rams will win this one. I don't see the Lions winning a game. Well, it's the NFL, but I don't see them winning a game against a top quality team right now. They might, pull out a victory here or there against some scrappy teams, but I don't see them winning this weekend against the Rams.
All right. All right. And so, Dwayne, I realized that everyone is really saying that, Detroit now have a chance, right? So I'm going to change it up for you.
Yeah,
This
yeah, man.
defense, who really knows how Jared Goff plays and stuff, how many turnovers can we go ahead and say Jared Goff will have in this game? Three or more, or
Oh
less
man,
than
me that game about two. The game about
about two?
yeah. And to me, irrespective of the teams, 16 points is a lot of points in the NFL, big man. And there's no amateur team in the NFL. It's not easy to cover 16 points, especially when you were picked to cover a team that is a 16-point dog, or what they would say is underdog to me. Most of the times they play above expectations and they
True.
do not allow the team to beat them by those amount of points. So
True.
I'm not gonna have the Lions losing to the Rams by 16. I'll have them winning by about 10. So
Around 10,
I'll say yeah, I'll say 31. I'll say 31-21.
31,
Ah,
21. Damien, are you here now?
Tell me, you hearing me?
All right,
Yeah, we
yes,
are
sir. Hearing
hearing
you now,
Okay,
right? So check me
perfect.
out. So Dwayne say 31-21, right? But I, if I can remember correctly, I just saw the Rams beat the Giants 38-11. If I'm remembering correctly,
Mm.
right? So that is, if my math is perfect,
27.
that's all. 27 points,
Mm.
right? And I believe that the Giants is a better football team than the Detroit Lions, right? But I guess context and perspective is everything. So I just want to tell me quickly, do you think that Detroit will cover, or do you think that the Rams will just go ahead and run up the scoreboard?
I think Stafford will have some, some mercy on the whole team. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any animosity there. So
Yeah.
I think he'll take it easy on them. I agree with Devin for 10 points. 16 is just a lot. That's more than 2 touchdowns
No.
to cover. Even though as a Steelers cover 20 points spread before, but 16 is a lot of points for an NFL team not
All
to
right.
to
All
cover.
right, so we're going to touch on to the Monday night game, right? And I spoke about it earlier that coaches have come off a bye, very dangerous, right? And Sean Payton is coming off a bye, going up against injury riddled Seattle team. Geno Smith at quarterback, didn't look too bad against the Steelers, but everybody started look good against the Steelers right now. So I'm going to start with the man who this is his team, even though sometimes him disown them when them not play good, him disown them and him say he can't bother with them and all them things. But
that's true.
we've seen Jameis Winston actually start, he start throwing the ball a little bit more instead of just saying just running the ball with Kamara every time. How do you see this game going? Do you think that the Saints
Um,
can cover this 5.5 spread?
it's a 5.5 spread.
Yes, sir.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I
down to
think
four and a half now.
it's going to 4.5. That they
Mm.
should be able to cover that spread. To be honest, the Seahawks team right now is not a very good team. Even before with Russell Wilson, it was basically Wilson or bust because the defense. I hear people calling them, the Legion of Boom because they usually be the Legion of Boom. The sports center anchors and even on ESPN they have been, making fun of this defense because they're actually in terms of yards, points per game, right at the bottom. And
Yep.
if they were continuing, they would set a number of records for being poor in terms of yards per game and all of that stuff.
Yep.
Um, and they have Geno Smith now at quarterback, which I don't know. Geno Smith hasn't proven himself in New York at the Jets. He's bounced around a few times. He's one of those quarterbacks that will be a journeyman.
Yep.
He turns the ball over a lot. I don't think they would have to focus really on the running game. A lot. Do some play action. Because using him as a primary just to throw the ball is not going to do well for Seattle, to be
Facts.
honest. I expect them to struggle against the defense. I know the defense of the Saints, the front seven has been generating a lot of pressure. I think they're about 30 interceptions in the league right now. The secondary, it fluctuates. I know Marshall Lattimore has been is coming back off an injury. But I expect them to do well to pounce on this on the Seattle team and the receivers. I don't expect. I think the spread could very well be covered. I expect Seattle to try and focus on the run game. I think this could, if if they fall behind, if the Saints really start out well, start out strong, get a few early touchdowns, I think they will want to throw the ball a lot more. And that will put Geno Smith in a position where he is not really good. So if the Saints pounce on them early, get two first half early touchdowns or two first half early touchdowns, I expect the Seahawks to throw the ball a lot, and it could get ugly. But if the game is really close into halftime, Seattle dominate the running game, keep the ball a lot, they might have a chance. But I don't really think at this stage, this Seattle team with Geno Smith at quarterback can beat the Saints. They really have to lay an egg to really lose this game. So I expect them to keep the run game going. Expect Jameis Winston to do his thing, keep the ball. He's made a lot of, well, not a lot, a few errors in the last few games. But I expect Sean Payton to really devise a good game plan. I'm not sure if Taysom Hill will be back because they went on a bye, so I think he should be back from that concussion. So I expect them to mix up things a little bit, get him involved in the game as well with their play, trick plays, etc. So I expect this to be a fairly decent win for the Saints.
All right. So Vincent, you heard Gary say that if the Saints go up early, then they'll start throwing the ball. But we actually saw the opposite of that last week, where the Steelers were up 14-0, and by the time halftime come, the Seattle Seahawks came out and they were running the football, and against such a great Steelers defense with TJ Watt and all those boys, and they were just running it. It's like hard-nosed 1990 football. That's what they went back to, and that's how they got back into the game, and then they started doing some play action with Geno, and he started getting his confidence and such, right? So with that being said, Vincent, is there any way you can see Seattle causing some fits for the Saints and getting this victory?
They can. I do believe they can. But Seattle is one of those teams where the quarterback makes the team. You understand? Without the quarterback, the team does look really ordinary. You understand? And as a result of Wilson being out, that is why they are 2-4. You understand? The team has been doing well over the last 2 years because of Wilson. You understand? As great as we believe the coach is and the defense has been there, Wilson really has needed help these past 2 years, and now that he's out, it is showing up big time. Can they do enough to win? Yes, they can, but it would have to be with the help of the Saints. You understand? Jameis Winston, I'm always a try back for Winston. I believe they can win. I believe they should win. I believe they have enough in terms of defense and offense to win the game. Unless Winston throw about 2 or 3 picks, then I don't see how Seattle would win this game.
Okay. All right. So, Damian, let me ask you a question, right? So, early in the show, we spoke about Cam Newton, right? And, we were saying that, hey, it's crazy how his former coach in Carolina don't want him in Washington. So it's either say something about his character, something about his play, something. But because if I coach someone and I know their ability and I am wanting that particular position, I'll go out and get him. It is said that, Cam is now vaccinated and the Seahawks reached out to him, right? Do you think that because they said Russell Wilson is targeted to come back week 10 right now, right? But in this division, with Arizona Rams and 49ers, week 10 might as well let us sit out the rest of the season, man. True. So with that being said, do you think that Cam Newton would help this team to stay afloat?
Well, I think Cam Newton problems. I think the problem Bill had with him was not so much to do with the vaccine. Yes, it was a problem, but I think Cam is not 100 with football presently. I think his mind is elsewhere. So Honestly, I don't think he'll get another job in the league. I hope he does. But based on how I see him behaving, it's reminding me of the wide receiver from Dallas there, and also you know a poor
Yeah.
man's Terrell Owens. Yeah, so I think they're
Okay.
gonna. I wouldn't say blackball, but I don't think his interest is really in the game. Um, could he do better than Geno Smith? Yes, I think so. But I think Geno is not playing that bad. It's just that Seattle is built around Wilson, as Gary and David mentioned.
Mhm.
So I don't think Pete Carroll looking at Cam to be the savior. Yeah, I think he'll just hang on to what they have, and mm,
But also, let me ask you a question, right? So in this division, you have Kyler Murray, you have Matthew Stafford, Jimmy G, and then Geno Smith. I think we kind of need, you kind of need somebody else out there, to actually drive
yeah,
something
but
up
but
because,
but 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 not Cam. I don't think Cam would be the savior.
they can't be the savior.
Would
All
be the
right.
savior there. Yeah.
Do you have a scoreline for this game?
Saints gonna win. I mean, it's a home game for Seahawks, so I don't see the Saints, running over them. The Seahawks gonna play with some pride. But the only way I see Seahawks winning if Jameis, plays poorly. I think the past couple of weeks, well, since the season start, I don't think he has a game, that I can say, yes, he's playing well. But I see the Saints topping them by about 4 points.
I want 4 point. All right. So, gentlemen, let me just advise you. So, towards the end of the show, we have a thing. I rename it now. It's called Majestic Five, right? So, what we do is that we pick our best. All of the games that's going on, we pick our best five, and we tell the audience, say, hey, these are the five picks, and I know Gary, I know you're not a gambling man, so let's give you 5 picks, right? Let's give you 5 picks, right?
All right,
But
Hold on,
David.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. My pick them not count
no, no,
anymore.
no, 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 no. I'm coming back to you, man. That's all. I'm
Okay,
coming back to you. That's as I said,
okay,
right? No,
okay, sir.
so we'll come up with 5 picks, and we tell our people that, hey, these are the 5 picks that you're supposed to go ahead and buy and try and win some money. So just you can start the little research now. You can tell them to buy it with the spread, without the spread, whatever it is that you think. I normally start first, to just get it going, and then we trick it on after that. All right, David. Saints and Seattle, right? You and I both pick, the Steelers to cover that spread last week. I put some money on it. I was supposed to win some big money, and for some reason, the Steelers decide that, they don't want me to prosper. So, with that being said, do you think that the Saints can cover this spread, or do you think that Seattle will upset it again?
I see a 24-20 game, and last week, like you said, Steelers went up 14-0, but then what the Seahawks they started like they started running the ball, and they run the ball, and I think last week they had the highest run game, I think over 140 yards, right? The season high.
Yep.
However, the bad thing for them is that Saints has been one of the best run defense team in the league for the over
Yeah,
like
so, I
over
think they're
three.
ranked second. Yeah.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, one of the best run defense teams. So that may go against their primary game plan because I think they would want to do more running of the game, but Saints very good at the run defense. So that's why I give them, even though the Saints are on the road, I'll give them the edge in winning like a 24-20.
All right, and go ahead, Dwayne. Let me hear your score line for this game.
Well, I have since 21-20. And
Since
there's
20.
only one reason why I'm picking the Steelers. I'm not gonna pick against Sean Payton coming off a bye. I actually picked the Seahawks to win, but when I realized that Sean Payton coming after a bye, I said no, I can't do that.
Yep.
So I have to go with certain people coming off bye is almost guarantee a win. So that's why I changed. It's gonna be a close game, but I expect the the better coach to me. To, you understand to me because since as lately, I think what Seattle coach he has been above his schemes lately. He's not in the same class he was in before to me. I guess he's getting up in heat, so he's kind of losing the plot. I think
Okay. All right. What's your score line? You said
21-20.
21-20?
Yeah, by one.
Well, ouch.
Uh,
All
it's all right.
right. So I hope Raj, Shamika, Pepe Paul, Leon, and guys, just ensure to subscribe, ensure to like the video. You know. So these are Kemar's majestic 5 picks for this week. You know, um, I didn't get the Pittsburgh spread. I got Pittsburgh win, but not the spread.
Man, not
Last
dwell,
week. So these are my
not dwell
five
upon the
picks.
thing.
All right. So my first pick, which is my favorite pick, is the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers with the spread. All right. So our 49ers winning by 4 or more with the spread. Okay. My next pick is definitely the Packers with the spread. All right. So I have the Packers by 8 with the spread. You guys, if you don't want to buy with the spread, you guys can just buy outright winners, if you want, right? But for the show purposes and, for if you want to maximize on our earnings, we'll go ahead and bet with the spread. My next pick is the Panthers with the spread 2.5. All right, so that's my pick. And I'm writing down my picks because I don't want to be wrong.
Panthers, you sure about that?
The Panthers with the
You sure
spread
about
two.
that?
I'm positive about that one. I'm
Okay,
positive about that
okay,
one. My
okay,
next
sir.
pick, my next pick is the Eagles to beat the Raiders.
Yeah,
Not win the spread or not, the straight up the
and
Eagles to beat the
20,
Raiders.
20 to the jar.
And my final pick, I can't look at the Chiefs game at all. I can't look at it at all. Ah, my final pick will be I'm going with the Saints. I'm going with the Saints over the Seahawks. Straight up. The Saints, the Saints win. So Shamika, 49ers, Packers, Panthers, Eagles, Saints. So if your boyfriend or your boyfriend number 2 or boyfriend number 3, you can buy him something this weekend after you win. Because these picks are absolutely sure. These picks are spot on. I've done my research and we are ready to go. All right.
You sound like,
Now
you
we're going
sound
to
like a
move on.
COVID denier, boy. You do your research.
Now we're going to move on to Damien. Give me your majestic 5 picks, Damien.
Well, I have the Chiefs
Well, I can
winning but
hear
not covering.
All right, so Chiefs straight up. Okay.
Packers outright again.
Packers straight up. Okay.
Raiders win and cover.
Raiders to cover that. Raiders to cover that 3.
Yeah.
The 3 spread. Okay.
I have the Rams winning outright.
Rams winning outright. Okay.
Yeah. I have the Saints win but not cover. Yeah.
So you have the Saints winning. Okay. So you have the Saints winning outright.
Yeah.
All right. So Damien picks are, and Damien and I differ because I picked the Eagles and he picked the Raiders. So Shamika, it's really up to you who you want to believe, but I'm the guy for your heart. All right.
Yeah,
So
this is actually my ticket this week, So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Damien has the Chiefs, the Packers, the Raiders to win by 3 or more, the Rams, and the Saints. The Django, we're not doing no over under. We're not doing no over under, brother. Well, I'm not doing it. These people are welcome to do it, but not me. All right, Devin, go ahead and give me your 5 picks.
All right, we want to give the people money in their pocket. So,
Yes, sir.
yo, throw away those straight wins. Throw away those straight wins. I'm giving you picks with the spread so you can win some more money.
Okay.
Packers.
Packers
Chiefs.
with the spread. Chiefs with the spread.
All spread I'm giving. All spread. Chiefs to the
Okay.
spread. Okay. New England to cover.
New England spread is 7.
Yes. New England
All
will
right.
cover. Yeah. Now, this one is what Eagles with the spread. So
Eagles.
Once
So,
Eagles,
Eagles not to lose by 3.
Yes.
All right.
You might win that game outright. And then definitely 49ers to cover.
49ers with the spread. All right.
Yeah.
So Devin picks are Packers to win by 8 or more, Chiefs to win by 5 or more, New England to win by 7 or more.
No, man. We're using the current spread. The current spread for the Chiefs is 4, boss.
No, it's 4.5.
Huh?
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
4.5.
You guys said 4.5. Oh, that way by touchdown.
New England to win by 7, Eagles not to lose by 3,
Yes.
and 49ers to win by 4 or more.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right. Dwayne,
Yes,
go ahead and
sir.
give me picks.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be Justice Robert this week. I'm gonna be super conservative. Straight up when me I give the people them and I bother with no spread or no anything like that.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna look for my thing now. So I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay to beat the Chicago Cubs
All
outright.
right.
I'm gonna go Arizona
Arizona. All right.
to hang the Texans.
All right.
Yes? I'm gonna go the Rams.
Man, I got the easiest play in the book.
I'm gonna go the Rams to get the better of the team Lions. So how much we got so far?
That's 3.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Green
New
Bay.
England.
Mhm.
New England to get the
New
better
England?
of the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
All
going
right.
to skiing on Green Bay too.
We
I
ain't
can
going
tell you this one
skiing.
for you.
We ain't going skiing this week. So we ain't going on no jet. And I'm
And
gonna
who
go
else?
with the Green Bay Packers
And the
to
Packers.
beat the stuffing out of Washington.
Okay. All right. And Kevin Bernard is saying that wish someone would explain this sport one day. All right. All right, Kevin. This is next week. Next week, Saturday, we are going to break down this sport piece by piece and try and see if we can get more people to understand the sport, because it's actually a fun sport. When I just came to America, I never wanted you're not born in NFL, but eventually you just get used to it and you just love it over time. So we'll definitely try and see if we can start off the show by explaining the sport in its entirety, and hopefully we can gain some more traction from it.
And before you sign off,
Um,
hold on. I didn't want to cut you before you sign off. Big up Gary Logics. Me and him are the first person to come on KLAS and debate NFL. That was in 2013 or 2012, one of those years. So a long time, me and him are go at it.
All right. With that being said, Mr. Logic, go ahead and give me 5 picks for the week.
I know Miss that a gambling man, but I get 5 picks. I'm gonna give people out there 5 picks that is a sure wins, right?
All right. Go ahead.
Sure wins. So we're looking at these 5 picks. So you have the Saints, the Rams, the Packers, the Buccaneers, and the New England Patriots. 5 sure. Any spread you know outright, anything. Those must win.
Those
Must
must.
win this week.
All right.
Must.
All right. So Gary picks are the Saints, Rams, Packers, Bucks, and the Patriots.
Hold up the Kems. What are we holding Gary to? Because he said anything we don't want. Are we holding him to straight win or are we holding him to the coverage?
No, we're holding him to the spread, man.
Okay.
All right, and we have Shamika Jackson saying she also wants to learn about the game. She watch a high school team in her district. It's a big thing for them. I'm just there enjoying the bands. Where are you located, Shamika? If you can let us know. So now definitely we're winding down the show. The show is coming to an end. So I'll give each of you guys 1 minute, 1 minute you guys can talk about anything you want to talk about. You don't have to be related to NFL, even though I would prefer it is related to NFL. But if you want to talk about basketball, if you want to talk about hockey, netball, this is your minute to go ahead and just, talk to the people, let the people know who you are, let people know what you're about. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with Damien on this one.
How about them Lakers? 0-2.
Yo.
Only two games.
Hey,
Only two
hey.
games. Only two
Man,
games.
Oh, and 10,
man, chilling.
500
young
when the season done.
He's a young
Huh?
virgin.
Only two games.
Yeah, only
He's
2.
a young.
0-2, and we'll be playing in late July,
Yeah,
That's all.
That's all right. That's what. All right. So, you're talking about the Lakers. So let us go to a Lakers man who let's see if he's going to defend it. Devin, give us a minute.
Yeah, I go away from the basketball. I want to talk about cricket because I'm still disappointed with West Indies this morning, and I'm disappointed with, the way our batsmen get out, like Edmire, Poor, all these guys are going for some aggressive shot. When the nature of the pitch is, you need 120. It's not gonna come off where the ball coming onto the bat and you're going for your big shot. The earlier game, South Africa made 117 or 118, and Australia struggled to defend to make the 118. So if we had gotten like a 120, 125, we just take our time and don't try go for no big shot. At my man make 2 consecutive boundaries, and I said right on the post that someone make I said, take a single out, please go take a single. Go for a big shot again. Just but if you had gotten a 120, I think we would have a great chance of winning the game. So it's just common sense these guys do. We can't always try to go for the big shot every time. You have to play the game as it is. Just play what's in front of you.
And here, Shamika is saying that Russell must go straight through him. Oh, she said Russell straight through him games.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Struggle again.
And Raj is saying that West Indies total grand waste of time. I totally agree with that one. All right. Dwayne, go ahead with your minute.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I like how the NFL thing evolved, right? I remember I am the one that started the NFL competition, and I got the idea from Bob, who started the NBA competition. And when I started the competition, there was not many people who was familiar. It was not being discussed on the official page that much, right? But I've seen it growing exponentially. And the great thing about it, the females are interested because the
Yes,
females
sir.
always make guys. So we need female to understand the game and bring female on to the game,
Okay.
so more female would be more interested in the game and be more interested in the. So that's my 2 cents.
All right. And Shamika
Hello?
Jackson, this is your official invite to join us on the show next week. Even if you think you don't know anything, trust me, just come on to the show and you'll fit right in. You'll fit right in with us. All right. So this is your official invite to go ahead and come on the show. Gary, give us a minute.
All right, yeah, man. Quickly, my minute. Looking at the NFL, we all know that originally or previously the NFL season was a 16-game season. Now that added an extra game, making it 17 games. What I'm looking at and I'm curious to see over the next few years, probably even this year, they were even talking about it on a lot of the on NFL Live and a lot of the NFL talk shows are that a lot of these records which we hold sacred might end up going. So remember a few years back when Dan Marino in the 80s was throwing 5,000 in in a run dominated league. Moving into the 2000s where it became a pass happy league where you had a number of quarterbacks running for 5,000. Drew Brees has 5. You have Peyton Manning, then Tom Brady had a few. Matty Stafford, Jameis Winston had 1. Now we add in an extra game where persons are saying, no, these records are gonna go. People are gonna throw for like close to 6,000 yards, probably even 60 touchdowns. You know, Patrick Mahomes is explosive. So they're looking at these records to come and saying that they might have an asterisk. Eric DeCosta knows the rushing record of 2,095, I think it is. I know the way how Derrick Henry is going now. They are looking at him, you know, possibly eclipsing the record in this expanded 17-game season. So it will be curious to see what will happen, you know, over the next few seasons with them adding the extra game. A lot of these records, you know, it's gonna come in like nothing. So will they have an asterisk because it's an extra game and guys did it in 16? So just curious to see how that unfolds with these records going forward.
Yeah, and Brady have an extra game to pile on, eh?
Yeah, because he's gonna sit down with a lot of these records because
No,
he's playing
but,
till he might play until 50.
but to be fair, a lot of these quarterbacks won't even be playing that final game. You know, especially when the team is already good. You know, a lot of the star players won't be playing that final. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying for sure.
That's it.
All right, and you know, as it says right here, you know, we definitely want to thank everyone for tuning in. Definitely much appreciated. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell a uncle, tell a sister. In response to you, Mr. Damien, right? I forget you're a LeBron fan. We can't have it, but you know, right now
you can't wash your own, man.
the Lakers are 0-2, and you know, we don't look good right now. You know, we can't really hide it. We don't look good right now. We're not playing cohesive basketball, and we're not even defending. You know, we're not even defending. It's just like we're just out there just free balling. So, you know, I definitely think we'll get it together. You know, we're playing Memphis tomorrow. So, you know, hopefully we can get it together against Memphis. Shamika is telling us great show. Thank you very much, Shamika. All right, gentlemen, thank you again, and we'll meet up tomorrow. She said great show, Kim's and the team. Next Friday when I go to my high school game, I'm going to learn more and focus less on the bands. There you go. Great job. So thank you, guys. We will be back next week to talk about the picks that we made. Have a good night.